So Jeff got in touch with Maureen. She drove across the city, and they met at the storage facility.
And he unlocks this, like a garage, door.
Went back into the bin and pulled the tub out from the back, and
he just shows me the bin, said it was too heavy to lift. And so I'm looking, and I'm like, what in the world, And I popped open the lid, and it was silence for a few minutes. And that moment, it's like she's seen him again, you know what I mean? Because just the silence there, and it was like, this is heavy. When I saw my son's handwriting, God, that was something profound. He wrote notes in there about things that he wants to do for me. To see those notes and to hear his voice as I read them, I could hear him saying it. It just touched my heart to no end. It was her son's stuff, I told her, take it with you. It's yours. Take it. I gave her a hug, and, she was thrilled. It felt really good that she had it again. It was like, yeah, back in the right hands.
And though some of them looked like they'd have some of Dilla's music on them, most of the cassettes, well, they were just regular tapes, like you used to be able to buy at the store. Today, you probably wouldn't pay 10 cents for them at a flea market. But in talking with one of Dilla's close friends,
Frank Nitt suggests, I think you better listen to them because your son hid a lot of music in his tapes.
Maureen sat down, loaded up the tapes, pressed play, and
if they do something wrong, they don't get sued.
I was blown away. My mouth dropped from the very first one. It was stuff on it that we had never heard before.
Turn it up, baby.
I didn't expect to hear his voice in any of the music.
When you see me do it, I do it, do it.
He's not sick. He's not suffering. And he's just live to his fullest capacity.
On the hundreds of cassettes that Maureen now has, Dilla had left music, and lots of it.
The material is, it was overwhelming. There are in the high hundreds of tracks.
Hours and hours and hours of unreleased Dilla music was found on the cassettes. And along with some studio master reels, Maureen says there's enough material for never-before-heard music to be coming out for years.
It's the Lost Scrolls. It's the Lost Scrolls. The reason for titling it the Lost Scrolls is because it has a spiritual meaning. It's like the Ark of the Covenant for me.
I was invited to hear the coveted Lost Scrolls. Now trust me, these recordings are well guarded, but Maureen let me record a small piece of our time listening together. So how does it feel to be listening to this music?
I feel simply wonderful listening to my son's creations. It's none like it. He is the master, and my heart is happy. My ears are happy, I can feel his soul in his music. Dilla was my backbone, my support, because we had a bond that was so special with our love for music and our desire to help the other one get to where they wanted to be in this world. We already were close, and then nursing him in California, we were more one than ever. So when he left, I was standing alone. I never mourned normally, not knowing whether to be angry or to cry. I couldn't cry. I hadn't shed a tear. At his funeral, I didn't cry. People were waiting for me to break down, which I didn't even understand. Why no tears? I was in denial of everything, and I just had this void. Then, through the heart of a good man, Jeff Bubeck, God would open up a door and give me pieces of my son back. It was held back for this time. It wasn't meant for me to have it before now. And it brought back what Dilla said to me in California. He was in a wheelchair. He grabbed my hands, both of them. And he said, I want to thank you for all that you have done. And I want you to know you're going to be all right. I promise you. You're going to be all right. You know.
How are you doing? You okay?
I'm
fine. Take a break?
No.
No?
It's the first tear. I guess I needed that. I think it's the first one since he passed. Thanks for that. Let me turn that water faucet on. Because I always hold it back. He has proven to me that he's looking out for me. And I'm looking at him, he's looking at me right now, saying, lady, I told you would be all right.
Maureen Yancey has begun releasing the music found on the tapes, the Lost Scrolls, as she continues her work with the J Dilla Foundation to raise awareness about lupus and inspire young people around the world. Maureen is also working on a book and a film about Dilla's life and legacy. We'll have links to all of these great projects on our website, snapjudgment.org. A huge thanks to Maureen Yancey and Jeff Bubeck for sharing their story. And special thanks as well to Jonathan Taylor and Tate McBroom for their help. And if you listen to this show at all, you know we owe a debt to Dilla himself.
Thank you.
That piece was produced by Pat Mesiti-Miller.
You are listening to Snap Judgment, and to hear more stories, visit snapjudgment.org.